Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to ITHive.org's live tech show. For Saturday, we're up to episode 23, and thanks for joining. Whether you're live now or watching this as a recording, I invite you to ask questions, and I'll endeavor to get you answers. So, back to the topic of security and protecting your technical investments and your business and your personal stuff. It's a little concerning. This week, a Canadian icon in the coffee industry, Tim Hortons, was attacked by a ransomware attack. At least that's what I read. It's hard to tell because Tim Hortons is being very tight-lipped about this, and this is where my concern is. The more we hide and don't talk about these security breaches, the more people believe that there really isn't a problem. And my concern is that 2018 is going to be a defining year for security breaches. Just like 2016, 2017, I think it's going to get worse. And the more we don't talk about this, the more apathetic or less action we'll take, right? So here's the thing. So Tim Hortons was attacked, likely from central office. That attack caused 100 stores to be out of action. That is significant. I don't know, for those of us that are in Canada, we've all been to a Tim Hortons, and, there are some in the United States as well. I can't really speak to the ones down there. But whenever I'm at a Tim Hortons, it's extremely busy. So imagine if you were the owner of a Tim Hortons franchise, and all of a sudden your cash register stopped working. You can't, and this is what happened, right, to all 100 of those stores. So you can't serve customers, you can't sell anything, your staff can't do anything, you're basically shut down. And I'm guessing there was likely a ransomware attack, and I hope to God that the Tim Hortons corporate office didn't pay the criminals the ransom. I'd be so disappointed because you're just giving these guys more money, like I've said before in previous posts. And I don't know if that happened, right? Like we said, Tim Hortons is silent on the issue. Nothing happened, right? If you look on the corporate website, I can't see any evidence, right? But yet it was reported. CTV News in Canada picked up the issue. And actually, there's a group of franchisees now that are looking to do legal action against the head office company for not protecting them, and rightly so. If I was a franchisee and I relied on head office to make sure that I was safe and my cash register would be working all the time, and they failed me, yeah, I'd be looking for compensation for sure. Right. So, this is an expensive thing, right? And more so for the owners of the stores, I would think. So, and I don't know, I can't say what events caused the situation or exactly what occurred. But what I can say from what I've seen out there in 20 years in this industry is that I bet a couple of things happened. Possibly a lack of proper investment in the security of their environment, right? And if there was proper investment in the security environment, I bet you that there was a lack of investment in IT professionals to help maintain and look after that environment. So in a little bit more detail, what I always see there for businesses, not all, some are smart, but some are not, and unfortunately they can be big companies that are not smart. And so here's what happens, right? The absolute worst case is the apathy, right? So, or lack of education or knowledge, right? Where you have a corporate entity and nothing's ever happened to them before, and they're just like flying by the seat of their pants, and everything appears to be working good. And so, they're just like a situation waiting to happen, and boom, it happens, right? A little bit better than that is that maybe they understand that there's risks out there, so they make necessary investments, and they buy software and tools and sorting out their infrastructure and get all that. And then because that's expensive, maybe they cut some of their IT staff to compensate, so they're not spending more or too much more on their IT infrastructure, whatever the case may be. And so they put all their faith in the automated tools and automated software. Well, what have I said more than once on this show about that? Technology is not smart. It will do what it does, and it'll do what people have told it and programmed it to do. It can't make intelligent decisions on its own, right? And if you're running your infrastructure with 100% faith in that software will save your day, that's a mistake. So you've made the investment in the software, but putting all your trust in that's always going to work and always going to be fine, no. So, and I've learned this, and I've seen it out there in the field many, many times, right? Even with the vendors and the software that I use, I know enough. And for our customers, we're out there and we're actually looking and digging and uncovering issues, despite what the tools we're using are telling us. And I like to verify things from multiple points of view, and then I really know if it's working or not. And then if anything is kind of outside the norm, dig in further why that's happening. Now, is there a cost to that? For sure, right? But the thing is, do you want to suffer a security breach, right? The best case scenario is you never ever have a security breach, right? And to date, none of my customers ever have. So I'm happy about that, and I'm proud about that. Nothing that was, yes, so sure, the odd virus here and there that was dealt with, right? But nothing that was taking out systems or causing downtime for the business or even on the residential level, any major issue never happened. So knock on wood, let's hope that doesn't happen. So, and we endeavor to do that. And, can I guarantee? No, definitely not. But here's the thing that comes after this, okay? So you invest in the software to protect your environment. You invest in people to look after the software to make sure it's doing its job. And, hopefully they're good resources and they don't just trust the software, what the software is telling them. They dig further and look for problems, okay? So that's great. Now, all of these things could possibly fail you. So what do you do then, right? Well, here's the big answer. Backup. Backup, backup, backup. In a worst case scenario, when you've been outsmarted, your software's been outsmarted, your IT support team's been outsmarted, if you have backups, right, you can go back in time, and there are very good solutions out there today. I'm a big component of a company called Datto. I resell their products. I talk to my customers about that. But that is a true disaster recovery system, okay? And we talked a little bit about that before and how that works, and I'll just brief it again because, Tim Hortons, hello. If you had this solution, you wouldn't have had the problem that you did. Okay, even if you didn't invest in all, software and IT support staff, if you had data on board, likely you could have recovered from this scenario. So here's what happens, right? So you tell Datto, protect this machine. Okay, it does images of that machine on a regular basis. It stores them locally. It puts them out in the cloud as an extra backup. So this is the exactly the way a machine was working. Gets backed up. On an hourly basis, you could even do every half hour or whatever, right? Depending on your risk and stuff. And then it stores that information offsite as well. So if, let's say, you get attacked by ransomware, right? That kind of scenario, you can't really do anything with the machine. But with the Datto solution, what I can do, if I was supporting that for you, is I could talk to your local Datto box, right? And actually tell it, okay, that machine that we're protecting, restore it back to the way it was half an hour ago before this ransomware attack occurred. Yeah, that will take a little bit of time. Boop, 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 done. So, yes, you would have some downtime out there. Your 100 stores might suffer some downtime. But two things. You're not paying the bad guys any money. You're actually paying the good guys, which, if I wasn't in tech, right, and I just owned, let's say, if I was the owner of Tim Hortons, right, I would much rather pay the good people that are working to protect us than to pay the criminals, right? Because if you pay the criminals, right, they're going to reinvest that revenue, just like a business, right, into developing more stealthy and more deadly attacks, right? So why would you want to be on that side, right? It just, and this happens because people aren't talking about it. They're not discussing the issue. They're not saying, okay, this is a problem, right? Tim Hortons, shame on you for being quiet about this. I know you want to protect your brand and stuff, but my goodness, share your lessons. Share what you learned, right? Tell people, yeah, this was bad, and this is what happened, and this is what we're doing to prevent it from happening, right? That's another thing that I've talked about on this show many times, is that we can all have problems, and businesses can make mistakes, and people can make mistakes. That's given. It's the human condition, right? But what happens after? What do you do after with that scenario, right? And I don't know. I'm really disappointed that this has been really quiet. Even in the media, very little coverage, right? So Tim's very successful in keeping this quiet. But will you be successful in preventing this from happening again, right? And what about other businesses that couldn't learn from the experience you had? What do I say, right? So I just sit here and I continue to try and get that message out here for all of you people, whether you're a senior citizen at home, a young family, a small business, one person, or a small business with 10 people, or a medium-sized enterprise. If you're not investing in your technology, if you're not aware of what your technology is doing, if you don't have access to a professional on a regular basis in 2018, you're making a huge mistake, and it's just a matter of time before that mistake is going to catch up to you. It's the way it is. And on top of that, I don't see it getting better, right? I think that we're going to see more attacks, right? Unfortunately, the criminals are making money on this. They're making lots of money on it. And even if the powers to be and the software developers and the anti-malware developers figure out a way to get these guys and stop them from doing what they're doing, they're going to come up with other ways. It's the way it always is. But can they? Well, one thing they cannot outsmart is a good backup system, right? Even if you're just backing up your files, you know, for if it's a lower risk, right? At least you're protecting your information, right? And then if you do get caught with something like this, big deal. You know, we re-image the machine and restore your information, right? And reinstall some programs, and you're good to go, right? Apathy is not a good thing for 2018. You know, get help, right? And of course, that's what we do. So if you want more information, just contact us. All right. So, hey, we're a little bit past the 15-minute mark, you know, well, 16 minutes now. And I don't want to keep these things too long. So, you know, enjoy. I was at Tim Hortons this morning having breakfast with my son. Their caches were working, so that's good. But anyway, going to have a coffee. All right. See you. Have a good one. Enjoy.